Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eghe, and this is Fictional Haven. And so today we're going to be doing another book tag, but this time it's an original book tag. Yes, we're going to be doing the Harmattan book tag today. Why? Because I was looking for what to film for today, and I could not think of anything. And so I wanted to try a book tag, and it just hit me at some point during my research for book tags that we're in the season of Harmattan, so why not create a book tag for the season? It's the season of cracked skin, chapped lips, ashy skin, so why not make a book tag about it? Okay, before I say anything else, let's just go straight into it now. So, before we start with the book tag, I just want to give a little summary of what Harmattan is for people who don't know what Harmattan is. So, Harmattan is a season in West Africa which occurs in between the ending of November and the middle of March. It is characterized by the dry and dusty northeasterly trade wind which blows from the Sahara through over West Africa into the Gulf of Guinea. In Harmattan, the temperature may be cold in some places but can also be hot in other places depending on the circumstances and the place you find yourself in. Some of the things that usually occurs during our Harmattan, or just the characteristics of Harmattan, or things that are of note. First of all, there's a lot of dust. There's dust everywhere. Your house, you mop today, before the end of the day your house is looking like you've not lived there for a year. There's a lot of dust. The air is very dry. Everywhere is dry. There's just this dryness everywhere, and because of the dryness you are getting some cracked lips, some chapped looking lips, ashy skin, some dry skin. It's a whole lot. In some places it's really cold, but in other places, e.g. Benin City, it's very hot over here, except in the morning. In the morning it's normally cold. Another thing to note during Harmattan period is that bathing cold water is no longer an option. You have to find a way to boil water, because cold water, you're not doing yourself any favor, frankly speaking, bathing cold water. Okay, so those are the little things that you should know about Harmattan. Yes, those are little things about Harmattan that I feel like just elementary level, basic level things about Harmattan I felt like you guys should know about. So now we're going to move into the tag proper. Okay, so we have 7 prompts today for you, and I'm going to be answering for myself as we continue, but we have 7 questions here for your prompting. For the prompt is Harmattan means no rain. So during Harmattan period, there's little to no rain formation because the air is so dry that it literally sucks the moisture out of everything, even the clouds. Maybe that's how rain is formed. By anyway, so there's no rain during Harmattan. Everywhere is dry and hot. So the question is a book outside your comfort zone that you ended up enjoying. And for me, I'm going to name 2. So just a side note, you can name as many books as you want for each of the prompts. Frankly, I always have more than one. I always have more than one book for my book tags most of the time. So there's no limit to the number of books you can give. So for books outside my comfort zone that I enjoyed, I'm going to be listing The Mountains Sing by, I can't pronounce this author's name and I don't want to spoil it, but The Mountains Sing and The Poppy War. Both of these books have themes of war, and that's just not something I'm very comfortable reading about. Like, it is very difficult for me to read about war, but I pushed through for these 2 books because one of these books was a book club pick. The Mountain Sing was a book club pick, and Poppy War I just wanted to read because it was getting really hyped and I wanted to see what it was all about. But I had to pick up these 2 books for reasons that are somehow borderline peer pressure. But anyway, I had to read these books for various reasons, and I ended up really enjoying them, even if I found a lot of aspects about this book I found these books, even if I found these books very difficult to read, I really enjoyed my time, and they are books that I will never forget. The next is hot or cold. So during Harmattan, it's usually hot in some places and cold in some others. For example, now you may be living somewhere like, I don't know, Abuja or something, or just, and it will be really cold there, and then you come over to places like Benin City or Lagos, and it is very hot here, and we are all under the same season. So for the question is a book with a vague or disappointing ending, and the book I chose for this prompt is both vague. The ending is both vague and disappointing, and that is White Smoke. I was very annoyed. I really enjoyed this book, White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. I really enjoy this book. But I was not having it. The way this book ended, I was not happy. Let's just leave it there. I was not happy with the ending at all. So the next is Harmattan season is lip gloss season. So basically during Harmattan, the air is very dry, and because it's a very dry time and there's just a general dryness in the air, there's lots of moisture on the skin and the lips of people living here, and because of that you see a lot of dry, cracked, chapped lips, and because of that people usually moisturize their skin and lips. And for lips, use it. This is the season where you see people use a lot of lip gloss and, I don't know, lip balm or whatever other thing people put on their mouths. But yes, this is the season to apply that to your lips. So the question is a book you wish you DNFed. And for this book, I say You Exist Too Much. Can't remember the author's name. I don't know why. I never remember author's name. But yes, You Exist Too Much. This book, I was I actually wish I did not waste my time reading it, because the main character in this book was just very annoying, for lack of better word, annoying. I did not care for her story. I did not want to be in her head for so long. I feel like I would have enjoyed this book better if it was not in the first person perspective and it was not stuck in this young lady's head for so long. She was just a very messy person, and I did not really care for her. You know, there's like messy as in, oh, she's messy but you love her and you want to see where the drama goes, and there's messy as in, oh, this person is messy and irritating and I do not care for them as a human being, and if I knew someone like this I would move in the other direction. It was the second one, by the way. Anyway, so I frankly wish I didn't have this book. I spent way too much time on this book when I should have been doing something else, something better with my time. Frankly speaking, I wish I did something else with my time rather than read this book. So the next is Harmattan is the season of dust. So just long story short, during Harmattan there's a lot of dust everywhere because of the northeasterly Sahara wind blowing, trade wind blowing over to West Africa. The question is the oldest book you own and haven't read. And for me, I have two books. There Was a Country by Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe. I frankly can't pronounce this man's name. I never get it right. Anyway, so There Was a Country. Why do I have this book? Technically, I didn't buy it. I liberated it from my sister's shelf because she had it for a really long time. She did not read it. And I was like, oh, Chinua Achebe. Why don't I liberate this book and read it? And that was in secondary school, which is like roughly close to 7 years ago, and I still haven't read it. I don't know if I'll ever read it, but hopefully one day I might be inspired to read it. But till then, it's on my shelf. The next is The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, and this is probably one of the oldest books I own. I think I bought this book like, I don't know, 2013, 2014. Like, it's really old. It has been on my shelf for the longest time. And why do I own this book? I don't think I'll ever read it, but I really like the title. The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. I just really like the title. I bought this book because of the title, and I'm not going to get rid of it because this is one of the first books I bought with my own money, or technically my father's money. But if the money was given to me and I invested it in a book, and so I don't think I'll ever get rid of this book. But yes, this is one of the oldest books I own and haven't read. I don't think I'll ever read, but I'm never getting rid of it. So the next prompt is rub and shine. So basically, during Harmattan, it's usually cold in the morning, and because of the coldness that comes with Harmattan, if you want to bathe cold water in the morning in Harmattan, it's not the best option, and the water is always very cold, like ice block level of cold, and then it's cold in the morning and you want to bathe cold icy, you want to bathe ice block and it's cold in the morning, so it's not the best options. And in secondary school, I'm using secondary school because now I'm not in secondary school, or university even, where you don't have access to hot water all the time, some people may decide not to bathe in the morning because bathing is a chore. It becomes a chore. It becomes something very potential. It becomes an extreme sport. Bathing becomes an extreme sport basically. So yeah, and because of that, some people prefer to do rub and shine. So I don't know how to explain rub and shine. So it's just that if you don't get it, forget about it type of situation. A book you wasted your time on, or a book that was a chore to read. And for this, I chose My Dark Vanessa. I wonder if this book is showing. But My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And I'm not going to waste too much time talking about this, but this book is actually really good. Like, recommend. I think it's an important book that people should read. It's a book about grooming and sexual assault of minors and a lot of important stuff that talks about in the book. But did I personally enjoy my time with it? No, it was a chore. I literally had to force myself to finish this book. I really did not want to, but this was the book club, my book club, you know, the one that I'm always talking about, but my book club. This was the book club pick for November, and I wanted to DNF this book so bad, but I did not want to DNF it because we had the book discussion, and I wanted to finish the book so I could fully understand. That is my sister, by the way, if you hear someone screaming in the background. But I wanted to completely understand what people were talking about, so I had to force myself to finish the book. Not that this is a bad book or anything, but for me personally, I did not enjoy my time with it. But I would still recommend it to people. At least read it once and get the message. But this book was a serious chore for me to read. It was not a good time, not a fun time, not a good time, it was not a fun time. And the final question is white workers. So basically, during Harmattan period, there's a lot of dry skin, and if you don't use Vaseline or any other moisturizing cream or body oils, you're going to be looking wet, you're going to be looking ashy. So it is advised for you to use cream, not body cream. Use something like Vaseline or oil that will actually give moisture to your skin and prevent the skin from drying up really fast and making your body look white and or ashy. So the question is, a book or books that make you happy. So for books that make me happy, we have Butter Honey Pig Bread. Makes me very happy. Like, I'm a happy woman whenever I read that book. The next, that A for Aunties, makes me very, very happy. This book is just chef's kiss, one of the best. Finally, The First Woman makes me a very happy woman. I read this book and I'm overjoyed. Really enjoyed it. Would highly recommend it. If you have not read The First Woman, I am on my knees begging you to read The First Woman. And the final question is to tag 5 other booktubers to carry out this book tag. So I'm going to tag people, but I'm going to leave their names in the comments just because I don't want to get the names wrong. But if I don't tag you, or you are not from West Africa, or I don't know, you've never experienced Harmattan before, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're interested in this tag, you can try it out. And I'm also tagging you. Consider yourself tagged. If you watch this video and you like this tag, consider yourself tagged. You can also do this tag. You really don't have to live in West Africa or have experienced Harmattan at all. It's just a tag, and if you feel like you want to do it, then by all means do the tag. So anyway, this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching me so far, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time.